Right. Morning. Afternoon. Sorry. Morning. Afternoon. Evening. Depending on where you are. I couldn't be asked to jump up and down today, so you'll have to make do with that. But instead of that little jiggly dance, which I'm sure you love, I'm going to give you a petite amuse-bouche. That's right, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Sounds right, okay.
Just about.
Yeah, right. Little couple of minutes of video about something we made. Nothing to do with model aeroplane, sorry about that. But it's still about modelling, still it's interesting. Watch that and then we'll continue. It is the incredible anti-gravity cone. Can you, yeah?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, right. This is amazing. I've just downloaded it, cut it out of cardboard, 240 gram card, put it through the printer thing, printed it out, glued it, cut it out, glued it together. Interesting. Right, okay. So first off, we've got to find a very flat surface. I'll show you how it works. We've got to find a very flat surface. So I've put the level on the surface. As you can see, that's level. You got it in focus, yeah, boy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just
right.
about suited.
Alright. And the incredible anti-gravity double cone, which by the way was downloaded from a site from a guy called Paper Pino, who is an Italian oceanographer. Lovely man. He's got some beautiful automata on his site. You can download them for free, but donate. Give him a few bob. I'm sure oceanography doesn't pay all that well. Right, anyway, as you can see, this incredible anti-gravity double cone is tapered. So it goes from the top to the bottom. And then you make up a kind of a cone thing like that. Can you see the cone?
Yep.
Okay, right, so you made that. And you put it here. Okay. And doesn't actually go down anywhere, didn't it? Right. What you have to do is put it here at the low end. Whoa! Oh, right. You want to capture that again? Why does it do that then? Let's bring it there. I could play with this for hours. Yeah. Anyway, just a short bit before we start the build again.
This is the unboxing one.
Whatever we decide to put on next. This is before it. My wife says I'm a waffler. Oh, I don't know where she gets that from. I'll see you in a tick. Right, well I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't, if you write a little comment in the comment section underneath, then I don't think I'll probably do anything. You'll still keep getting them, but it might make you feel a bit better. Welcome to part 1 of the part 3, I don't know, of the wing build.
The Puddleduck build.
Yeah, the Puddleduck build. It's the first part of the wing, which we're going to have to split up into bits anyway. Alright? Just before we get started, just a quick word about the last video. A bit of mix up with the photographs. One of the photographs said that I built the fuselage side over the plan, but the photograph didn't show that. In actual fact, I think the photograph probably showed the second part of the fuselage being built on top of the first part of the fuselage. And the other one was, I did say that the information for Jim Newbury's website, which I actually gave verbally, was on the piece of paper which we were going to show, and it wasn't. So it's all down to my son anyway. It's nothing to do with me. So we'll get on. We'll get on with the wing build. Okay. Now the wing is made of. Oh, it's Mr. Happy today. Mr. Happy. The wing is built up of 3 sections. Okay. Centre section, and 2 outer sections with a dihedral, I mean to go up at an angle, to the centre section which sits on top of the fuselage. The reason for that being, of course, it's only a 3-channel control, and you need dihedral. I'll put that down. You need dihedral on the wing to make the thing go round when you turn it. Alright, so I do deviate from Jim Newbury's website construction. He does have a part of the website which is follows the construction of the Puddleduck, but it's the construction from the kit that he supplies. Obviously this is slightly different because it's not from a kit, but my construction video will differ very slightly, as in the building in of the dihedral braces to the wing. This is why when you look at my design, you look at Jim's design, they differ a little bit, but only in so much as the dihedral braces. Now I've decided to put in 3mm light ply dihedral braces, top and bottom of the wing, and I've decided to build the braces in as I go. I think I got it from building the Ben Buckle Super 60. I think I can remember, it was a while ago now, but I think I can remember doing it this way on that, and it struck me as being a decent way to do it. What Jim suggests doing is the wing itself is part covered with thin balsa, and as such, in order to fit the dihedral braces in, once the wing has been built up complete in its entirety, you have to cut slots in the top of the wing. So take the covering material out, insert the dihedral braces and glue them in place, and then replace the wood once you've done that, which is a little bit more than I could cope with. One, I don't have a slot cutter for these braces, and 2, I can't see the point of building a wing and then cutting a great chunk out of it, to be honest with you. So the way I'm doing it is I'm building in the dihedral braces as I go. First off, obviously, first job to do is to make all the wing formers, and these basically are all made from ply, from balsa. Cut out 2 formers out of a ply or aluminium or anything you want to begin with. Okay, shove a couple of holes in them. Two you've got. Put the holes, drill the holes through both of them whilst they're clamped together, obviously, and then insert your bits of ply as you would your bits of balsa as you would normally, and sand them down, cut them up to match the formers that you've already made. Now I've seen people put together formers with what do they call those things, cocktail sticks through the whole lot, but I've tried it. It's alright with very small formers and not very many of them, but I find the whole thing a bit wibbly So I put a bolt through with a couple of big washers on. Do it up really tight, and then nothing's going to move, and then you can do your sanding and your formers, so you've got all your wing formers done. You can at that time cut out the slots for your spars if you wish, so they're all exactly the same. I don't do that. I don't know why I don't do that, but I don't do that. I'll cut them out as I go, so if there's a little bit of error I can change it as I go along. First thing I built up was the wing centre section out of 3 formers together with the lower dihedral braces, which hopefully we're getting into view now. That was built up. The dihedral braces were epoxied to the 1/4 inch wing spar. As you can see, I've put in a filler at the top just to make it absolutely solid here. That's all epoxied in that, okay? None of your super glue or rubbish like that. I then put the very thin ply bottom on. It's flat for a part and it goes up at the nose. First off, I super glued that just to keep it in place, whilst I then made a filler of wood glue just to hold it really tightly. I then added the balsa subspars on top and underneath, cut to size. Okay. Then, what have we done next?
What we did after that?
Right, well, no, right. We did the sheeting. The lower wing sheeting, okay? I cut the lower wing sheeting out according to the drawing. Made the curve where it says made the curve. Glued on the main 1/4 inch bottom spar to it, making sure that it overlapped slightly the edge of the bottom sheeting. When you turn it over, you can then glue your capping strips. It's marked on the drawing actually. You can glue your capping, it gives your capping strips something to actually glue to. So we did that. So made the sheeting. Trailing edge. Pinned that down. Glued that. That's a super glue joint there to the bottom sheeting. And then started gluing in the wing formers, making absolutely certain if you glue one at a time. That one's not glued yet, that one's not glued yet, okay, this one, that one, yeah, carry on, is glued, making absolutely certain each time that each one is at 90 degrees, yeah, square to the leading and trailing edge, and vertical before you stick the next one in, because unless you have a small square you can't fit the damn thing in. So yeah, one, go right away along to the end, and then we've got the wing tip to fit on yet, but there's also a bit of wood which is added on to the trailing edge, which Jim reckons is a 1/4 inch square, which needs about a month's worth of sanding if you cut it at a 1/4 inch square. This is where a balsa stripper comes in dead handy, because you can make it what you want. So what we'll do is when we shove the top sheeting on and glue it to the bit of overlap that we have left on the bottom sheeting, we'll measure the thickness of that, and then we'll cut a piece of balsa a 1/4 inch by whatever the thickness is that we require, just a little bit bigger to allow for the sanding, obviously. Flat on the bottom and then sanded off to the, shape of the wing on the top, and then we end up with our trailing edge. Okay, so as you can see, I've yet to put on I've yet to glue in the final two wing ribs. I've got the top 1/4 inch balsa spar to fit on. I've got all the 1/8 of an inch sub spars to put on, which I will carry on with. Now the joint between the wing sheetings, because you've got centre wing sheeting, top and bottom, and bottom your main wing sheetings as well, fit onto that. At the joint between the two, what I will do is on the inside of the wing, I will epoxy resin a fillet there, just to make absolutely certain it's a little bit stronger than it would have been had I super glued it, which I'm not, as I said earlier, not heavily into. So what we've got left to do is the two top spars, okay, which will go like that with the 1/4 inch dihedral braces. They'll fit before I fit the top sheeting on. They will fit there and there. Okay. Once I've glued the other half of the wing on, they'll fit into the top, and that will allow me, as this method has allowed me already, to put some nice clamps. These are the clamps I use, these clamps. I can't see how I would have been able to put these on if I'd followed the construction by Jim. If I'm just going to cut a couple of slots for the dihedral braces to go in, I'm not going to be able to cut a slot big enough to put a clamp in as well. I might clamp it to the spar, so I can't quite see that. I much prefer to, even though it's epoxy resin, it takes up, gap filling, etc, etc. I prefer the thing to be clamped until it's set. So the next job, after I've put the spars on there, of course, is to make the other half of the wing. And what I'm going to have to do there is to ensure that the other half of the wing is flat on the building board when I build it, and this end of the wing will be sitting up in the air, of course. So we'll have to have something underneath that to support it whilst the dihedral braces are gluing to the main spars. So it's a bit of a pig's ear, because you need a bit more room, really, I suppose, to build the whole thing, and a bit of it's up in the air as well. But this way it allows me to, it gives me a lot more flexibility. Plus the two wing ribs, which one at the end of the centre section and the one at the end of the wing section, the dihedral section, the one at the end of the wing section has got to be angled, of course. This method of constructions allows me to get that angle absolutely correct, because there's, it just fits up against the other one. I did measure the distance between the end of this here and the floor, or the building board, when the centre section was flat, and I think it was 2 7/10. I've got a ruler here that measures tenths of an inch. 2 7/10 of an inch dihedral on the end of the wing, but not on the wing tip, just at the end of the rib. So I drew that on the board at the correct angle. I think it's probably about 6 degrees, something like that, of incidence. And yeah, so after I've done this I should check it, but as I've glued the dihedral bases were accurate anyway, so hopefully we'll get the same angle each side. How's that for a Yorkshire pudding?
Yeah.
Do you like that? Oh, it's got mouth and two eyes. What do you think of the show so far?
Rubbish.
Rubbish. Right. Here we go, back to the studio. The other major problem, it's not a problem, but something we're going to have to think about, is that the wing drawing, of course, is only for one wing. And it's a right-hand wing. So, unless you want your plane to go around in circles, we're going to have to make a left-hand. Which means we're going to have to actually, if you want to build it over some kind of plan, draw this thing out. What I'll probably do is to draw it out on a piece of greaseproof paper, and then turn it over and stick it to the building board and work off that. We'll see when we come to it anyway. So alright, that's as far as I've got. Don't overtake me, and we'll be back with part 2, which might be in a day or so, I suppose. Let you know how we're getting on. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from both of us. Oh, it's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from me. Yeah. Bye.